instantly put yourself in a position to carry some favor towards maybe a finals or playoffs appearance. And I think the big stage here for Boston is, again, dealing with this guy because he has been so hard to find, so hard to kill. It looks like this time we're going to be good to go here, friends. So let's turn it up here, Boca Raton. We've got Toronto Ultra. We've got Boston Breach still on the Skyline Hardpoint for the second time. Let's get it on.
And if you're Boston Breach, you got to come out of the gates hot. Whenever they play on Saturdays and they lose their first match, they usually just get ran over in their second one. Toronto Ultra on the other side, already coming off of a really good win. They start with 3 kills in the feed. They don't have the preferred shots they want, but now you're just soaking up time as much as you can.
And I love this from Toronto, just not overextending, just playing over towards Jim, staying away from top catwalk, giving yourself a spot to still fight over the P1 time at worst. Boston coming off their second set of spawns, though, looking decent to clear off the middle of the map. Still, though, cannot find Joe Steves inside the hard point. He's off the regen. Members in front of him from Boston, but help from Kleenex gets him 2, and then Joe over the top of the hot tub finds the 3rd to get Toronto comfortable inside the hill.
Yeah, the ARs had no success on those initial gunfights, so the SMGs hit a long route. Unfortunately, that route is going to come back to bite them because now the spawns flip. Ultra can be basically perfect here at the P1. Someone's got to slip on through. Purge trying to hit the underground route. Can potentially win the one-on-one. He's able to find it, but now you just got to finesse a little bit longer.
Yeah, Mercury's playing around the back, trying to catch Purge off guard. Not
Big
quite
time.
able to. Huge double from Purge. Awakening following up, and it's just down to Insight, who's instantly traded, but still a spawn in. Kleenex could potentially make this messy, and Boston are going to be late on the read as they see that number 5 in Purge is all the way out. You got to win these gunfights. Awakening trying to spam things down, but it's Merc, it's Joe. They're able to break, and Toronto right back in.
Yeah, that's too sloppy right there. If you're Boston, you find every single kill, and you're thinking, okay, we can already create an extra layer, but Snoopy sitting in towards bottom bedroom allows these close spawns still for Ultra to be in towards the back end. So already making a mistake there is Breach, and now they are paying for it because Ultra are still getting these close spawns. They still soak up a majority of the time, and at least Boston now have the numbers for this final 15.
Now Joe will be taken down, kills enough time for Insight to keep the hard point neutral and find a follow-up. So again, the scrap time battle continues to look decent. Semtex comes through, but Snoopy survives through it. So a little bit of time there for Boston, but now we look over towards Kitchen, and a first blood goes the way of Joe, plus a second and damage onto Awakening. Oh, fiery start for Toronto once again.
Yeah, we already ran the rotation. You're Boston, now you're playing catch-up. You need to win a situation, and thankfully Snoopy's just going to fly through the front door to find a double. But still, you don't have the numbers. Ultra had the close spawns. The ARs locking down the middle of the map. Another 3 in the feed.
Oh,
Boston
boy.
got to take their time on this break.
And that's just another moment just to kind of individually focus on one particular player. Snoopy in their last series had a couple of moments like that where he gets 2 and then he forces the 3rd.
Yeah.
Your teammates are right behind you. Just value your life, because then all of a sudden he drops, the rest of his team falls behind him. And this is what happens. Toronto gets into a position of control, and now they've got you completely pushed away, not just from P3, but also over towards 4.
Yeah, there's only 20 seconds left, so you're not going to try to contest this. You want to think about that rotation over towards New. Need to take some mid-map presence. You have already top plat, but Ultra are fully set up off the rotation. They know where those kills are going to go down. They win the first gunfight, which is the most important. Now they can fully set up for the next wave.
Well, Mercury's going to hold over towards top bedroom. Also has to be responsible for the OE. Rest of his teammates trying to come back into the play from the front. Staggered spawns, but a couple of kills come the way of Ultra. Now they can take all their focus in towards the hill itself. Unsure if there are any Boston members still floating around the outside, but Mercules gets the call, gets the commitment, and with that, Ultra get the break.
And I love the patience right there out of the rookie.
Agreed.
Like, you just take your time. You know that, all right, we're losing gunfights towards the hard point, but if I'm in this position, and as long as we hold down the push through the kitchen, they're never going to be able to influence that spawn again for Boston to have the numbers. So just blocking it, allowing the teammates to set up the pinch, making this hill look basically perfect.
Yeah.
Because there's only 1 kill that goes down, and Awakening gets nothing from it.
Yeah, and Mercules 7 in a row, already has a Hellstorm. You're looking at about a 100-point game, and Mercules is just getting it done with both weapons. Again, he is just really showing up, and showing off for that matter. 130 to 37. It's anything but a game right now, as Toronto are very comfortable.
Yeah, Boston's making a lot of mistakes there on that first set. Now you're down by 100. Forced to try to catch on up. Make them somewhat of a game, but Ultra now with the Hellstorm invested, hit all the comms, instantly put themselves in a position to have all the power spots, and now just soak up time.
Yep, and our ops team is just doing exactly what Mercules wants. Just build me a highlight reel. Just let me just go on this long streak. Maybe end up in the CDL top 5 plays of the weekend if you can put this to double digits. And yep, not done yet. Not done yet. And we get help from Joe Deceives over the top. Purge in a little bit of a trouble spot. And that's enough for JD to once again come up with the double. And it's just, it's embarrassing right now for Boston.
Yeah, it's looking sloppy, man. A lot of mistakes so far. Only allows them to have 47 points, but this is a moment where they can start to stabilize. Awakening is able to allow his teammates to spawn right next to him while popping that double kill. But Ultra now have a hefty lead. They can take their time on this break attempt here towards P2.
Hercules just right back into it, 15-7. Long-range shots on the Cammy. My God. I mean, come on. I don't know how this guy slipped the radar for so long, but he's showing up and putting everyone on notice that, you know, you can say what you want about challengers not being enough talent down there. Hercules says, bet.
Just keep on showing why. And now Ultra still fully set up here at the Money Hill in P2, Awakening the last man standing. Clean 4 dead. You breach the 200-point mark, and now Boston really don't have any opportunity to do anything else.
No.
We got to find the fastest route to the damn hill.
This might be the biggest differential in hardpoint score on the year right now. I think the one that currently owns it is the LA Thieves Carolina matchup from Major 1, but Toronto is making a statement. And for Boston, it's roll over and die in map number 1, which is not how you wanted to start this series.
And you can just tell, like, right off the initial P2, like, you won the gunfights. You had the spawns that you want, but just doing an extra step, instead of step number 1, you allow the spawns to get a little bit mixy, and Ultra are able to capitalize on it. Now Boston win the rotation over towards P3. Already lose the initial gunfight. You're finding trades around that mid-map area to still give yourself a chance. But Joe finds a double. Now here comes Toronto.
24-13 for Joe Deceives at the minute 23. He is literally just triple-doubling through all these hardpoint lobbies. He has been unbelievable. Insight follows up with another, leaving Joe to kind of just work on this pinch through mid. Nice shots on the Purge. Follow-up is there. Joe Deceives. Nothing about this gives you any intention that he's not a top SMG in the game. Snoopy able to provide a double to keep Boston going, but they're limping at this point.
Yeah, realistically now, if you're Boston Briggs, you're just trying to fight and show some momentum, potentially to go into this map number 2, because this deficit might be too much to overcome, especially when Ultra have the lead that they do. They can still fight all the jump time that they want. A clean 4 dead. 10 seconds remaining here. Boston Breach now have to think about that rotation, but you're already late to the party.
Yeah, think about the rotations one thing, doing it is another. As Insight, backside tub, takes care of Purge, hardpoint opens. Joe Deceives in a little bit of trouble, or is he? He still gets 1, and now you just got to find Cammy as the last elimination. Klinex deals with it, and that just may be game right there. Purge gonna try to take a peek inside the hard point, but nothing, man. Absolute perfection from Toronto Ultra. Smackdown in map number 1.
Oh my God. It's crazy how, like, a roster that doesn't come in with their full roster can come out and look like they've been playing for months together. It's just so in sync. The system that they have over there in the Ultra camp is absolute perfection. When you talk about the teamwork aspect, you're dominating off the rotations. When you need to find a break, you made it look easy every single time. And your setups were beautiful again on a map like Skyline. It was their best as an organization.
Yeah.
Like their best hardpoint game without question, but you're at a more consistent player, a more aggressive player in Mercules who can go between ARs and SMGs. They're just having so much fun right now on Skyline.
22-15 for Mercules, 20 non-traded. Mercy. Joe Deceives 29-16, just continuing to stat pad his hardpoint KD throughout this major to the point. And again, like you talk about, and I just want everyone to really listen into this, because yes, Mercules is playing lights out, and individually, he has what it takes to play at this level. Clearly, that's been the case. But there's also the idea around the fact that Toronto Ultra have built a protocol, built a system that is plug and play. We talked about this a lot, and for all of you super nerds that watch Challengers with us, we said the same thing about him at Brooklyn. 2 players would retain from roster to roster. You plug someone in, the team still dominates. We're seeing that happen here, but at the highest level. And I think that's not just credit to Mercules being great as a rookie, but also the system that Toronto has already put together.
Yeah, and realistically, he went to the same exact situation with Omen Brooklyn. Correct. Because there were people who already got called up back to the big league. So, all right, Dylan Rex was my teammate before. Okay, let me switch that up. Now I got to add Prolud into the mix. But still, he's able to prevail in those situations. When you think that, okay, we're not going to stand a chance. This is a new roster. We don't really have a lot of practice. No, the guy's a gap filler. He is a system player. And when you're a system player, you can fit in wherever they have a good one going. And Ultra definitely showing why they've always been consistent in the CDL. dominate in map number 1. Now we're going into a search and destroy where as a roster, this is going to be the moment where they need to show what it's like to have not your full team here. But the good thing for them is that they already tested it. They got ran by Miami. Let's run it back on dealership.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those moments that, again, day number 1, there is a little bit of like, we just got to get our feet planted. Like, let's just make sure we're good, we're vibing. And well, I think the thing about it was the vibes portion of it was big. I think when we first talked to Mercules after their win in the lower bracket round 1, you know, Blaze had asked Mercules the question, what is it like playing next to Joe DeCease? It's like, you look over at that guy, he's hyping you up, he's giving you vibes, he's giving you smiles. It does get you comfortable. And I think that's the biggest thing when you add somebody new to the Knicks that has never played at this level before, really hasn't even played with people at this level before. Get him comfortable. And it looks like Mercules has been more than that, at least today.
I feel like Toronto's like the perfect team for that as well.
Agreed.
Because when you jump into a listen and everyone's just calm, cool, and collected, they're like, okay, let's just take care of business. Kleenex is a perfect fit. Joe DeCease got the guy feeling like, all right, this is my best friend. And remember, Joe's like right there with him in age, but he's like his big bro so far on the stage. And he's got to be feeling so good just looking at his screen.
He's like a proud father right now.
He's like, wow, we found the perfect guy.
Is there like a, I'm just going to throw this. This is a waffle, so go with me. Is there a level of like Beans watching this song be like, I kind of want Mercules to start playing a little bit worse? Like,
nah, not really, because Merc is such a young rookie that, you know, he's just opening doors for himself. Beans knows, I'm an established player for Toronto Ultra. Unfortunately, situations happen. I couldn't make it out to Major 3. And realistically, like I said, before the series started, I just got my pom-poms out. How deep can they go with the young rook?
Well, here's taking a look at the search and destroy results at the major so far. Mercules, really to be fair, that opening duel win percentage is deceiving because he's not really in many. That may be just a couple of first bloods here or there, but most importantly, the KD's been great. The average damage per round has been great, which is not a stat we talk about often, but as a support AR on a lot of these search and destroy hits, he's getting a lot of assists and opening up space for his SMGs to find easy kills.
Oh yeah, he's doing his thing, but on the opposite side, Giga, please spawn in right here. There's a 1.5 in search and destroy. 100% in your opening duels. You're going to need it to be effective here on this dealership because you just got ran as well by Vancouver. You can only find success on 2 defensive rounds. Offenses need to have more strategies or at least create extra layers where people realistically aren't scamming. Like if you're going to push towards A, you get somewhat of those cars control. You just got to buy your life until that objective gets down. It's
just so bizarre, I think, after watching Toronto get handled by Miami on this map and how Miami were able to find success. It was getting through the site, scaling deep, and then Thieves just shut that all down. So you go, whoa, okay, maybe there's a level of that. Whereas on the other side, Boston, like you said, a couple of lucky rounds against Vancouver is what I would call it, with the first blood onto Abusa and a Ninja defuse. But outside of that, not much to speak of for either of these 2 teams. So feels like a square-up map here and one that is necessary for Boston.
Yeah, and Ultra last go around versus Miami didn't get a single first blood and a 6-1 loss. So let's try to turn that around here, and they're already potentially going to catch them off guard. Snoopy's thinking the rotation to B is going to be free, but 2 players from Toronto, there to contest them. You're making it 2v2.
And trades are decent, and Joe is going to be held at mid a little bit, but Purge tries to hunt him down, tries to teamwork this, and that's just not going to be a play that finds any success. And honestly, Boston kind of put themselves in the middle of a blunder.
Yeah, it's just tough. Like, if you don't commit immediately over towards A, obviously in round number 1, you have no trophy systems to work with. They were just trying to probably bait out the taxes on that side of the map. But then when you're trying to hit that rotation, players already taking space through the courtyard. Ultra get active through the middle of the map to strike for the first blood, effective on the trades to make it a 2v2. And then Joe DeCease just in the right position, ready for a trade, finds one, gets the info on the other, and sets up Mercules to call out the round.
Now, one of the questions we asked about Toronto when we watched them play this map was who would be the island AR for their defense? That round, it's just no one. We're just going to all run at you. So that could be something we see come through in the future. Mercules is going to play by himself on the B side of the map. The rest of Ultra feeling things out at A. And it's just Cammy trying to read contact info. He's not trying to find a battle. He just wants to see if he can get any info, and he's seen enough to move the defense over.
But that trophy is going to be in a very difficult spot. Because if you can spot that and shoot that out, then you can invest your attacks, but you're just trying to back them down if you're Ultra. Allow this opening for the player on the pinch in Mercules to take a lot of space at B.
And he's got a sub too. So now you've got that scaled deep player. Garage door opens, he hears all of that. Or he's just waiting for the rest of the team to come back through. Snoopy still able to find the trade, 2v2. Joe trying to move a little bit further forward. Meanwhile, Insight seeing if he can catch anything over towards mid. Timing is good for 1, but not the second. We got a 1v1.
Another 1v1. Snoopy v. Joe DeCease. Gonna be able to spot him. Joe's gonna come in on a gunfight. Back and forth we go. SMG battle with Mixie, and Snoopy is able to come out on top. Boston tied the game.
I love that commitment from Snoopy. Just do not sit in that top office position. Force that gunfight to happen on your terms, even though a couple of attacks have come into you. Love that call.
You know what catches them off guard right there is Mercury's position. You hear the garage door open. Someone fully commits on the side of Boston Breach. And if you are the rest of Toronto, you're thinking, okay, there's nowhere they're going to come through Shaq. Like, Merc is pushed out on that angle. But you slip right by him, find that kill, make it Mixie in that moment, and then once you turn it into a 1v1, Snoopy just had to jump on Joe. So able to tie the game. Trophy systems now on both ends. Boston, a little bit more commitment now on their push.
Yeah, looking to just hit over towards small. Stuns nades quickly over. Mercury's the one playing deep side over towards back of A. Joe and Kleenex feeling things out at middle. Haven't seen anything yet. Trophy down late for Boston. And oh, Joe just gets caught trying to run through the garage door.
Bombs getting planted. You have the numbers advantage. Purge is still going to hold this aggressive angle for anyone sliding on out. But Cammy with the AR is able to take down Merge. 4v2. Don't let this one slip.
No, and inside dropping means that this post plant is very dynamic. A couple of players through the site. A couple of players on the backside for the clutch. And Purge has seen Kleenex. Lots of damage tallied, but no kill. And with only 20 seconds remaining, it looks like Kleenex may run out of time for this play. And Purge will make sure of that, Boston. Couple in a row now.
Boston take advantage of what's given to them. Okay, no one's getting aggressive over towards car. We got trophy systems this time, and our SMGs are in really good positions to take space away. I don't know if it was Joe DeCease who shot the garage door open, or someone from Boston did, but he just walks right into the preamble Purge for the first blood. And once Cammy finds that second and the bomb is down, just an easy round there for Boston to secure it.
First blood's reflecting the score on the scoreboard. Boston with 2, Ultra with 1. Toronto, trophy system on the corner. Boston, 4-man hit through mid and B. And it's going to be on the inside to get a read on this while the bomb gets planted.
Bomb's going to get planted, and Inside's also able to get one and almost get on now. At least stall out time for his teammates to get back into the play. 4v2, instant 2v2. What a nade there from Snoopy.
But the bomb does get planted. Kleenex gets a read that there is pressure through mid. Deep slide for Snoopy. Looked weird on our perspective when he broke the game. Now he's on 3 in a row. Question marks to where Insight has gone on this post plant. Is he in enough of a spot to get both? First one's clean, but not the second. Snoopy clutches up again.
And that's an ace right there from the young rook. Snoop just went crazy. The nade over the top. Able to land right next to a car bomb, find the opening, double, find the isolation onto Kleenex, and do not let him get out your sights. And then it's in the right position to find that trade onto Insight. That looked to be an easy round there for Ultra.
Yeah.
But Snoopy just said, no, that's mine.
Yep. Exploding cars 101, right?
Yeah.
That is a lot of it, because the first blood from Insight, the follow-up from Kleenex, you're an immediate 4v2 with the bomb being planted. If you're Toronto, you're like, all right, we're chilling. Nope. 18 bombs go off around that A site.
Boston back on the attack. Switch up the pace tremendously. Whoa. Trophy goes down in the middle of the map. You take mid away from them, and now your options are everywhere.
That trophy does get exploded, though. So some of these late nades are landing. Snoopy tagged heavily. But like you mentioned, middle of the map, owned by Boston, and Ultra have to be wary of this. I mean, Joe and Kleenex have to watch this cross nade to make sure no one pushes through their garage.
Realistically, now you're just playing for a retake.
Yeah.
Ultra. Because the bomb is going to get planted over towards B, but Insight finds the angle. Now you have the numbers if you are Ultra. Let's just retake it together, play the trades.
Yeah. The thing about this is Purge has gotten in towards Shaq. This is a good spot to still be able to successfully find a 3v4. Bomb should safely be planted. Ultra have to re-clear mid, and they're going to send Mercules to help out for that mission. Cammy, does he see enough? Sees the top of 1. I don't know about double stacking here. They're trying to push through, thinking if Ultra's going to retake through mid, we can just push over, but I don't like that call at all. And they're going to get punished for it, leaving a big wake by himself. 1v4 does have the benefit of the clock in a post-plant position, but I get it. Like, you see that Ultra reclaiming mid, you want to try to get through the A site, but I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, Cammy just thought that they had the advantage on that side.
Yeah.
Like, you spot them, at least a couple players through the middle of the map, so let's just try to play our numbers on an opposite side. Force them to waste a lot of time to locate someone around that mid-map area, but When they make that decision, everybody from Toronto just wraps on back.
Yeah.
They play their numbers to perfection. They're able to isolate in the 3v2 over towards the side. Shaq take care of both of them. And then Awakening left in the 1v4 stands no chance. Ultra able to stop the bleeding, secure their second round. Back to the attack they go with Kleenex that time, finding 3.
Yeah. Defensively, Boston, again, they've been playing a very good, restrictive defense. Losing out the initial first 2 bloods in the last round still didn't make a difference. So what do you call here? 3 defenders quickly. Owning arches at B for Boston. Cammy, the only one over towards the A site, but he's playing forward with a trophy system at his feet.
Yeah, he gained the info.
Yep.
This is where the player's going to come on in. Let's invest in RC car, and that might come back to bite him because realistically, you need all them car bombs to blow up if you want to have a successful chance at a retake. But now you can take your time if you're Ultra. Everything's already invested. We can sneak our way up for the objective.
Yeah, but Boston, this is exactly the right call for Ultra. They're going to get a read that Boston want to contest this site. They don't want to let the bomb get down at all. Maybe somewhat because all those car bombs are gone. So they will clear out A. Now the rewrap back. Mercules has slipped through just a touch, but has to hope he still finds timing. This is not a guaranteed 1-for-1 spot.
Yeah, Snoopy is right next to him. Give it a spot purge. The jump over is going to give him the first blood. So now if you're Ultra,
you can rewrap.
30 seconds left. Yeah, rewrap it.
Yep. You've got mid-map essentially dominated. Boston is not going to be able to use that as a linchpin to reach over towards A. Cammy a couple of tags.
20
and actually,
seconds.
Purge has cleared out mid, but Ultra continued to just go back and forth, little tug of war, and they're going to find a wide open B site.
Oh man, back and forth. I'm going to go here. Nope, I'm going there. No, you think I'm going there. No, I'm actually going to be at the other site. And now Ultra get the bomb planted. Awakening is going to fall. Purge, now your turn for a 1v4.
First one's clean. Second one may still make itself available.
Shots.
Now to the 1v2. Still plenty of time for him to get the reset. Just comes down to this next battle. It's going to have to be likely at range. I imagine someone called out that you just saw, Joe. But JD's out of there. AR picked up. Clean opening shots, but inside on the opposite angle. Makes safe the post plant. And Ultra tie us up at 3.
Yeah, that's just an impossible round to try to win there if you're Boston. First blood goes in favor of Mercules, was able to slip through the middle of the map onto Snoopy. And then, okay, we're knowing that the play was going to go over towards A. Cammy gives the info. They're trying to fight it because that's your best chance. With one player committing on the bomb plant, is 3 guns versus 3 guns. But just too much time left. Realistically, not that much time, but Ultra just with the perfect game plan. I'm going to show face here. No, I'm actually going here. All right, we got another kill. No, I'm going right back. So, perfect game plan there for Ultra to tie the game.
And that's just good awareness, knowing what your numbers provide in terms of advantage.
Exactly.
Like, Boston can't keep challenging mid on you. So tied at 3, Mercules, again, the sole defender over towards A. Trophy system to keep him safe from incoming nades. Last time they did this, Joe overpeaked through garage door. This time, no such contact. But Toronto are way back at this site. This retake's going to take a minute.
Oh, but the RC car is going to have Purge weak, so he can't commit on an angle that he once wanted. Now this is where you can take some space if you're Ultra. They strike for the first blood.
Snoopy still tucked, though. Trophy system getting some work done for Boston's post plant. Nice opening shots from Snoopy. One more in front of him. The jail comes through, but Insight denies it. Awakening for the trade. Trying to find one more in the corner. Big wake. He's got help. Insight able to turn this to a 1v1. Cammy on the backside of the corner. 12 seconds. Cammy has the clock. How do you play this if you're Insight? There's the shoulder, and Cammy saves the round. Advantage to Boston.
Yeah, that's his only play right there. Insight knows I can't play chase. I need to try to stick on the defuse, and thankfully Awakening was the deciding factor on that round. So find the first blood there if you're Ultra. The trade comes in from Snoopy. Now you have the man-up advantage, but Awakening finding a double makes it more manageable for the rest of his team to just play the game clock to perfection. Boston take the advantage.
Big round from Cam. Actually, that really is a big round from Snoopy right there to stay tucked, find one.
And Giga.
Next attack for Ultra. 4-man stack over towards the A corner. Trophy's down. Cammy playing forward once again. This is a read. Cammy's like, you can't fall here if you're Cammy. So he backs off. A lot of utility spent, though, for Toronto as cars explode all over the A site.
Still got nothing done, though, at this A side.
Oh.
Essentially trying to pull the setup from Ultra, but with a minute left still to work with. Still committed at A.
Think about the last time Ultra did this. Mercules was the island player towards B, and Boston are making sure they're committed to watching for that OE, but Mercules is not there. Instead, he's here helping out for this plant. So it's going to be a 4v4. Purge trying to get something done through vent, but shut down. Joda seems to follow up Cammy for one. Slips away. Does he get a look at a second? No, Ultra too quick. And we're tied again, this time at 4.
Yeah, they take their time on that round. Wait for all the attacks to get invested. Use all their attacks initially to force Cammy to reposition. And then once there are a couple nades and stuns getting invested, pinch is already being watched. You can plant the bomb on the front side of that site. Gives you a better angle, or doesn't really allow the nades to be effective there. Ultra perfect on their post plant, tie the game.
And it's just the conditioning that Ultra have built into the Boston mindset defensively, where we're always re-wrapping, re-hitting. We got a pinch, so this round you just cut noise, create so much doubt. You get an advantage with your numbers. Boston, though, back on for the round 9 offense. Nades cooked. Hercules playing a different corner here. And he's got an SMG. Again, they're so focused on Boston on playing that back corner. They don't check the early one. Trade is out, but damage done, 3v3.
Yeah, it's a big first kill right there from Hercules to at least guarantee one before the trade comes in. So now Boston are going to have their head on a swivel. Gonna look for the right time to work this objective, and RC Car is going to get invested to just keep them away from this A-bomb for as long as they possibly can. With 50 seconds to go, someone's got to recover the bomb eventually.
Yep. Purge will watch the vent. Cammy will work on the plant. If you're Ultra, how do you work this retake? RC comes out, Purge, tag, but still finds one. Unreal stuff from Purge. Now off the regen, looking for more, and it will get more. JD to the 1v2. This would be a 1v3 in all technicality. He knows where both players are, but this is just going to be a shoulder fest. Early tags to Cammy. Here's the double stack. He finds one, but not the second. That's brilliant from Purge at 25 HP to find 2.
That's insane out of Purge. That's not supposed to happen, especially with all the car bombs and everything that was invested. Simply shut them down at this A-star or make them a lot weaker on their post-plant setup. But Mr. Purge A, having a big moment there for Boston.
Yeah.
He's able to walk away with 2, and he's the only one who falls. You give your team the man advantage to close out the round. Boston at game point.
Yeah, he got a flak jacket courtesy of Balenciaga right there, soaking up all that damage.
Guy's balling. First class, Balenciaga jacket, everything.
See if Toronto could get us to a round 11. 2-2 split. Different look here for Ultra. Haven't seen this before with no information early towards A. Kleenex and Hercules putting a lot of focus on the B point. Follow-up stun just to try to keep Boston interested. But once again, Cammy, the island defender, is going to get a read that Toronto are still invested today.
Yeah, and then instantly wrap it back. You already see Purge showing face through the garage door, and you know they're going to be into the play, and Cammy's able to strike for that first blood. Toronto got to slow it down.
Yeah, just can't, though. I mean, Joda sees his shirt. Yeah, he's your bomb carrier. And he was looking to play forward. Kleenex last one left alive. Shots to Snoopy decent, but it would have to be a 1v4. And here comes the rest of Breach. Stun will land, and they're just going to make sure there's no exit available for Kleenex.
They don't even give him an opportunity. He's just going to be trapped in the middle of the map, and Boston Breach able to come back. Tie the series up on the search to destroy. Everyone had a big moment. Courage to open up with double kills over towards A. Awakening doing the same thing over towards A. I think the difference of this map was literally the success at that site, because Toronto were only able to find 1 or 2 offenses. One offense went over with multiple rotations over towards the B site. The one time that they had A, they found multiple first kills. But Boston was just a lot more successful on their offensive approach.
Yep, I think there's a level of Ultra, I think what their idea is right. I think it's just like, think of a couple of rounds in particular, like that one that Hercules is in towards Shaq. He hears the garage. I imagine at least he hears the garage.
He better.
But I think the thing about it is, like, reflecting on how Hercules plays Church with Submit Brooklyn, he's like, I'm going to call this out behind me and trust my teammates are going to get this kill so I can still stay tucked. I just don't know if the rotation was fully there yet for Toronto to actually beat that player to the cross. So you talk about that round. You talk about a couple of 1v1s from Snoopy. Clutch, really all it is, because even the first blood battle, I believe, still lent towards
Toronto.
Ultra's favor. So it does level, it gets you to the level set of, like, again, clutch moments from Breach in a couple of different ways.
And it's good to see, because Boston usually, if they lose their match on Saturday, they roll over and die in the second match. So showing some fight there in that Search and Destroy potentially gives them some momentum going into the rest of this series. But the next 2 maps are absolute square-ups, and I can't wait for them.
We'll see. We'll head back to the desk for their thoughts before we jump back for the control.
1-1. That's right, my Boston Breach is very much fighting. Toronto Ultra, though, 100-point clubbing them in the hard point. Can we talk about my win first, Ant? Because I am now the only Awakening fan on the set.
Right now, you truly are.
Search and destroy.
You did pick them. The search and destroy was wonderful. I mean, Toronto had a couple of good rounds. Their offenses, you saw them like toying with them with the rat backs, and then you see Boston having to adjust in that final round. Just beautifully played, playing out of spawn, like not letting Toronto dictate the round. They exactly have to play that.
Let's take a look at some of the best moments from Game 2. It's search and destroy on dealership. It's explosive. It's fun. But how did it unwind?
I mean, look. The sign of life here for me for Boston getting a win here. I mean, the respawns have not been ideal, and that is not going to help you in the long run. But if you can squeak,
it was this. I mean, this was thunderous, Miles. Sorry to cut you off.
It's
he gets a two-piece nade over the top, jumps through, guns Phoenix, and then gets the ace. Like, as soon as that happens, you felt like a gear shift in Boston's brain. Like, they got 100-point club that map #1, and it was like, okay, we can even out this series, and it's no harm, no foul. Some big plays by Wake in that round to find 2, and then Purge finds another massive 2 on a later round on offense.
And I think I really appreciated the attacks up. Boston reached out the entirety of this dealership, just kind of forcing that showings towards A and forcing those bomb plants, I think, really makes it uncomfortable for Toronto Ultra, because Boston's one of the few teams that will send a player up to get into your base post-plant. And then also just a lot of clutches from the side of Boston Breach. I mean, I think the casters touched on it really well, of just like winning your ones, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they got some miracle two-piece on this map. You saw Giga's two-piece, like pushing the issue on their offensive rounds. Yeah, Boston, you know, playing dealership, they look prepared. It's a different story from the last time we saw them.
Can I put a scary prospect right now that, I mean, Toronto has been great. The honeymoon period has been electrifying. They've got this far. Now that they're facing a little bit of adversity, again, like 79 is saying.
Oh, wait a minute.
Has there a little hole in the armor now? Is the chainmail just come undone a little bit?
There is, because you're talking about a Boston team now, I believe 7-0 in control, and even after getting cooked by Surge, like, you still won that control. We're going back to ball. So, I mean, you do have a unique opportunity here as we revisit map #1. Skyline, you look at this team, man.
Joe Deceive's playground.
Joe Deceive's just insane. Like, don't play them on this map.
What do you got for me, Rally Cats? Go ahead, talk bad about my Boston team.
It's a 6-4. I mean, do we forget what this map 1 looked like? This was absolute domination across the board. Merc goes on a 10 spree, guys. I mean, absolutely disgusting out of Toronto Ultra in this map #1. And we're talking about a Skyline that Boston like to play, right? Like, they forced it in the Vancouver Surge series. It hasn't been panning out, clearly, but they do like to play this map to try and get Snoopy and Purge warm earlier on into the series. And Toronto Ultra has been a solid control team. It's about 50-50 for them right now. It's obviously tough going against the Boston Breach, but I don't know. I think what they've pulled off so far is already insane.
They are a solid control team. That team up there is missing a key piece of what that team has done in control. It's still, for me, a bit of a question mark.
Yeah, Boston are headed back-to-back their best maps, right? So
y'all can hate on my Boston team, but they have one guy at the helm. He goes by the name of Purge J, and this is how he handles adversity, Alley Cat.
How's he doing?
All right, listen, bro, it's all good, bro, but we got to lock the right now, bro. We're doing dumb-ass fucking literally dumb need to lock in right now, bro. We don't have a choice, bro. Right now, we need to lock in, bro. We're doing first P2, we literally just killed all 4 people, and we're nowhere near the hill. None of us, bro.
We just need to lock in, bro.
I mean, I love that, right? Because it's like, he knows what they're capable of, and he also played with authority in that game, too. I mean, you saw so many plays of him out there in the fire, like pushing up A Street, trying to make plays, and it's difficult, man. You got to back up, hide behind a car, and the timing is so small, the window of opportunity that you have, and multiple times him seizing that. So Purge, in his game and in the communication, like letting his team know, we still got this.
High dive, swan dive, Boston in 5. Back to you guys.
Oh, that was slick.
Fuck it. Doesn't happen often. When it does, it's special. It's like a lunar eclipse. Yeah, we got a really good one here because, again, the storyline almost writes itself. Boston have been flawless when it comes to control. Surprise, surprise. It's just not something that you would have figured based on how the season had gone for them. So the light switch kind of gets flipped, and they're good to go. For Toronto, still trying to like work things out a little bit with Mercules, but they have gotten a lot of reps on Vault.
Yeah, every single series that they played so far this weekend has all been Vault. Thankfully, the last one was pretty dominant. Their defense, they were able to fill all the proper gaps, find every single trade, and just make the game a whole lot easier. But I was making sure. Obviously, I communicate with a bunch of the players. Purge knows how important this Vault control is. I said, you bring that Vault control the same way you did online. That's going to allow you to have a deeper run into some tournaments. So the biggest map in this series, without question, right here in map number 3. Boston, even though they got smoked in their last series versus Vancouver, this was a clean 3-0 with an insane offensive win, which is realistically they shouldn't have gotten.
Yeah.
But you gotta be prepared for the sling because Ultra is so good at just filling the gaps, being nuisances, and getting lost.
All right, let's see how it's going to be. It's going to be Boston on the opening attack. And eyes immediately in towards the A point. Battle over towards the right side hallway. Even exchange to this point. Snoopy trying to turn the tides. Pistol out, just trying to find whatever damage he can. But the rest of his teammates have cleaned things up, and Boston are on.
Yeah, already have the numbers advantage. Cammy's able to find a double. You locate the last player in Mercules. Not everybody else coming off the respawn. First segment already guaranteed. And they might be able to catch a couple more because Purge isn't letting them out of this one for free.
Nope, not at all. CleanX does slip over towards top catwalk, but the stack has allowed 2 ticks to already come through. Halfway through the third as well. But again, damage is here. Toronto want to give this a go. Can they get there in time? There's the full clean, and right before the third tick gets locked, Toronto get the recontest and a little bit of depletion.
And you already have Insight pushing over towards him. He loves it. That's his happy place. Just influence the spawns for them to always overdo poolside every single chance that you get. And Snoopy knowing, all right, my teammate spawns to my left. Someone's got to be in this position, but Insight able to find that kill. Teammate still slaying around the middle of the map. Next push already shut down on the side of Boston.
Great bounce back for Ultra. Again, manipulating spawns, finding advantages. That is a unreal gunfight. Purge only gets 1. Hercules putting pressure on the spawns. Cammy being tagged from multiple members, and it's a clean kill feed for Ultra. Cammy just trying to dance, but that's a dance with the devil. Leaving Awakening and the rest of the team to spawn towards Pool again.
They just keep on going towards Pool. But they're not taking their time to wrap back through their spawn because realistically they don't have time to work with. Only 30 seconds to go. You thought 8 was going to be done and dusted, and now you can't leave your spawn. Down by 9 lives. Mercules just finesse a little bit longer because this has been dominant ever since that break off.
Yep, and he's going to get a read on everyone trying to hit over towards gold. One more underneath. Mercules, no, surprised by Cammy. Exit has been earned, but it's an 18v9. Right now, if you're Boston, you're just hoping and praying you can find one more tick of progress before you go to the defense.
And they might not have an opportunity to do so. Only pressure they have is over towards top cat, so you're going to drop down right into the preem of CleanX, but Purge on the pinch gives them an opportunity here. Wins his one-on-one, you flood through double doors. Third segment is going to be locked. Do Boston have another miracle in them?
It's not done yet. It's 15v7. Doesn't allow for many respawns to come through, but one clean break. Maybe you get it up a couple extra segments over towards B. That's what Boston are hoping for. Snoopy deals with the trade on to CleanX. Cammy thinking about working over towards Vault Stairs. The big question mark here, the big problem spot for Boston is how do you get Palms control? Because you cannot just allow Ultra to sit outside the zone when that's exactly where they're pinned up at.
Yeah, you unfortunately also don't really have lives to work with, so no more respawn. Purge trying to work on the pinch to potentially at least secure one segment at this B point. He's gonna come up behind one, but Cammy's already gonna fall. Purge, I'm not gonna lie, let's just pat stats a little bit.
Oh, he's gonna jump onto the zone, and Ultra will deal with him. But still, 3 ticks after what looked to be a pretty indomitable setup for the spawn trap is not bad news for Boston.
Now, without question, but they were probably think we should have gotten more off of that round.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you have a great break off. You guarantee the first 2 segments. The last push that Toronto had an opportunity to work their way back in towards A. They make it count and don't give you any breathing room after that. 3 segments to your name if you are Boston, but Toronto take the first round.
Very comfortably. Joe Deceives 10-6 in the round. Mercules 7-3. It's been consistent. I mean, this is next level debut. We'll talk more about that at the end of the major for sure, but this has been a next level debut for Merc. So Ultra on the offense, Boston have been really good defensively on this map in particular. Mercules for first blood. Joe Deceives following it up, finds a second, and Snoopy gets traded. Ultra on the zone.
Oh, kick up. Big double right there. To give your teammates a chance. Now off the respawn to still contest it, not allow these segments to be guaranteed on the side of Ultra. Insight's going to have his hands full. Let's just try to get lost. Drop down in towards Vault. Finesse a little bit more for your teammates to get back into play.
Yeah, CleanX is going to get some success done over towards Catwalk. That allows an opportunity for the rest of Ultra to start.
Good finesse.
Yeah, getting over towards the top side, but Purge has done well to catch 2, leaving just a 1v1 for Awakening. Boston defensively on this map have been really, really solid, and maybe the best right now, maybe outside of Thieves, honestly.
They have figured out their control game at the right time to close out the season. This is where they needed to show improvements because spawning into a series down 0-1 is never ideal if you want to take down some of the top teams. So the improvements in this game most specifically has allowed Boston to compete with the top dogs and Purge. Another massive double, all 4 dead. Ultra don't even have a segment and only got 30 seconds.
Good win, though, from Kleenex. Follow-up from Hercules is decent as well. Awakening is committed onto this play. And he's going to still hang here. Just have a little bit of a conversation with Kleenex. An aggressive game of tag. Both players will back away. Ultra stop the clock at 22 seconds on the A zone. No pinch allowed for Awakening. Purge also shut down. That's 3 dead, leaving Snoopy by himself. And he's up top. Has a good look at Joe. A couple of tags are through, but will give up on it instead. Deal with the spawners.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do. Find a couple spawn kills. Make it easier for my teammates who are flooding their way through line. Second segment is already locked, and Snoopy stays alive for so long that the teammates get back into the play before that third one gets completed. 10 seconds to go. Ultra looking for a final push here to at least extend time.
Yeah, Purge just going to make sure there's no desperate play down B lane. Cammy, SMG in hand, will get something done at the pinch, and that is all 4 dead. That is a really mature play from Snoopy. He's got to look at 2 players, tags onto both players. And I think Snoopy from like a year and a half ago would have jumped in to chow that, but he's grown, he's learned, and he ends up essentially securing that defensive round.
Yeah, he's understanding, okay, if I give my life up for free, then they are going to know all of us are coming off the race. They can just flood on in and guarantee those segments, but as long as I stay alive, continue to be a nuisance, the players off the respawn on the side of Ultra have to put focus on me. Just allowing that to develop the way that it did. Boston were able to stop that third segment from getting completed. So they're currently up by 1, going on their second attack.
And this would be a round where Boston would show you something towards B potentially. And that may happen depending on the route that Snoopy takes. Now he's going to go up top, or actually take the OE. No commitment in towards A immediately. Ultra's nades likely to be pretty, I would say, low in value. But they do catch 1 onto Cammy. Snoopy just holding towards Catwalk. Damage on Hercules, not enough to get the kill with the Semtex. So we'll go into just kind of a reset here, battling over A.
Yeah, Snoopy potentially the timing onto Hercules is able to win the gunfight on the pinch and find the second. 7 in a row now. Had a slow start to this control, but he opens up the gates for his teammates to flood right through this A point. First segment should be guaranteed, but you can see how Ultra are trying to set up this break. Someone going on a deep pitch. If Inside finds the opening, they're going to stand a chance.
Yep. In fact, it's actually Joe Deceives who finds one, I think, through Vault Hole. Snoopy trying to chase down the pinch. Oh, crazy gunfight. Just no one able to lock onto each other, but Insight with the win. Joe Deceives getting some work done, and this is where he starts to shine. Playing in and around the spawn. They've lost Purge, but he's just hanging out like, who cares? Exactly. He's going to jump on the A zone, but our Ultimates don't care. They just want to get these lives dealt with.
Absolutely not. Okay, Purge, you can touch the point. You can pull our attention a little bit, but we're more focused on keeping everybody else trapped into your spawn. First segment does get locked. 20 seconds to go. Do Boston have another late round heroics to potentially secure some extra segments? You're going to have Cammy just edge out towards B.
Yeah, if Cammy can win a 1v1, maybe there's still a chance to re-wrap back towards B, but Insight finds him. Snoopy up top tagged, cannot jump in. 13 seconds on the clock. Another touch from Purge, this time on to B. Pinch from Kleenex does not clear him off the zone, and also Snoopy has hit a route. Could be a first tick, maybe more here at B. They deal with all the issues that came around the backside. Ultra had to hit from the front.
These late round heroics from Boston just guaranteeing some segments to stack good enough. You got 3 people on it. You got to start to go if you're Ultra. Time is already extended. They also are dominating a majority of the kills in the feed. And now if you're Joe Deceives, you just got to finesse.
Yeah, he's the last one here. He had to deal with just a stagger hit over towards A. So now 14 plays 12, 60 seconds on the clock. Awakening! Does he get one more up top? No, Insight's not going to give him the chance. It's Kleenex for the trade, and things will stabilize for the defense.
And now if you're Purge, how long can you stay alive in this position? You know at least one more player from Ultra is on our side. So you're banking on your teammates to find that kill. Purge finds the perfect timing on the pinch, finds the first kill, almost finds the second, but that's a lot of information gained.
Yeah, Insight follows up. Just making sure Boston are coming in staggered off their spawn. 10v7, advantage to Ultra. 28 seconds to play with if you're Boston. Trying to set something up in and around Vault. And now Snoopy for a pinch. Not going to be allowed. Backs up. Tries to find the long-range shot to the Insight, and that is a big kill. Maybe one more chance still to touch here. Staggered 2-2 hit here for Boston. 2 from either side.
Oh, in the flank, Snoopy's not able to get anything done. Joe also finds a second kill as well. So now Boston with no more respawns, only have 2 players to try to get this done. Awakening is dancing with death. He is gonna fall. Snoopy 1v4, not gonna stand a chance. And Ultra able to again take the defensive round, but again, they don't want to give up all those segments. Now you're down by 3.
Here we go. The extra progress for Boston, critical. At least in terms of what round 5 could look like. But if you're Ultra, you're looking at this offensive round as we could possibly win it here. Let's see what they get. What's the call? Are we going to see anything cheeky towards B? We're just going to keep fighting this thing out right over the middle of the map at A.
The break off is the biggest thing. We talk about control. So Ultra again with some trophy systems going to have the easier approach to work their way through the middle of the door. They're just going to take top cat. Joe Deceased knocked down to half HP. Not a single kill has gone down yet.
Yeah, but look at this. Oh, Merc, good first. Not able to find the second. Joe being tagged there is actually pretty critical because he was trying to hit that with Mercules, but he wasn't able to help out with the nade landing in his face. So the break-off is, I would say, rather unsuccessful for Ultra. Little pixel peek from inside onto Awakening, pushes him off towards B Street, and now Ultra reformed for this hit back at A.
Yeah, they have their second attempt here. Already find the initial kill. Have a lot of presence through the mid-map as well, but nobody watching the pinch. Here comes Snoopy, right behind enemy lines, finds the first kill, and absolutely destroys the rookie. There in kill number 2. A clean 4 dead again. Boston stabilized.
Yeah, Joe's been seen in the pinch, still finds one. Keeps his life a little while longer. Almost deals with Snoopy on top of that, but just too weak to take the battle. CleanX pushes right into Purge, finds that trade, but he's the last one standing, and Ultra are again down to 25 seconds to fight with.
It's like both of these squads are just like, okay, we're going to do our best shot in the final 20 seconds. So CleanX is preparing for this final push in towards A, just trying to time the jump up. But Cammy and Awakening already start off with the gunfights. Numbers in favor of Boston.
Good
Last
stuff.
player's insight, he is gonna fall, and this is looking like a shutout round for Boston.
Boston's defense has been so good. It really has been. No antics this time for Toronto. Nothing's gonna sneak through this time. So they're gonna get the round 5 defense here. Force Ultra to have to put something different together. And honestly, for Ultra, they have not put together a single good break-off offensively yet.
Yeah, the first one was really, really fast through mid-double doors. They didn't win a majority of the gunfights. That time to try to slow it down, and then you lose 3 players and don't take down any. So realistically, if you're Ultra, I'm going back to the aggressive strat.
Oh, yeah.
Because just wasting that much time developing on those long routes, and if it doesn't work, then it's already 30 seconds wiped away from the round. We have to be in it to win it.
See what we get. Defensively speaking for Boston, it's been a very, I would say, even affair. Cammy's got 12 of his 23, but everyone's got about the same amount of kills defensively for Boston. So there really hasn't been any individual pop-offs yet for Breach, but hey, the team's looking good.
Yeah, that tells you right there. Like, no one's popping off. That means everyone is just doing their 25%, finding the trades left and right, but already off the breakoff from Ultra. They switch up the pacing. Joe is able to find an opening double. Guaranteed segments are already going to be here at this 8 point. Can you find something? And Purge at least finds one.
That opens things up, and
That's
whoa.
a scam.
Yeah, that sure is. Cammy from top art finds that kill, forcing Insight to have to step up, and that's a big missed chance for Ultra. They do get 2 ticks of progress onto A, but felt like that could have been the zone right there if you just stay in the zone.
Yeah, because you had 3 players on it. It's a lot faster to work up your progression for your segments, but Jodeci's overextends a little bit. Purge also found a kill through the bottom side, so it instantly gives the numbers to Boston to reinforce their way back on in. Now Purge on 5 in a row. He's been having so many big moments in this series. Besides that map number 1, he's been the clutch guy for Boston.
Yeah, he's definitely awoken in this series at this point. 45 seconds on the clock, 4 life advantage for Boston on their defense. Insight kind of playing through Vault Stairs, actually catches Awakening, so he can pause the clock on B. The effort towards A is not done yet, but Snoopy may have just kind of put a nail into the coffin on the play. But the eliminations are good, and now Insight's going to try to track back, get the stack onto A, Cammy on the hunt, but can only go so far, and that's going to be an extra 60 for Ultra.
Yeah, you want to extend time early on, just draw the attention over towards B and have them a little bit weaker
Good
on their
read.
setup around that A point, and Mercules with the perfect read there onto Cammy. You're already showing presence on this B point, and that's 3 dead.
Big win.
Scary moment for Boston.
Big win, though, from Snoopy. Keeps the pitch safe. Boston off spawn. They get their nades down. Kleenex impacted by a stun, but stays alive through the Semtex. First blood onto Snoopy is good. Purge follows up, though. And that's just all on the pitch. He's going to get a second from mid-fall, awakening another. Kleenex by himself. He does provide himself an exit, but it's a 3-life advantage for Boston. They've reclaimed territory around B.
Now you just gotta take a little bit more extra space. Snoopy's gonna work on a deep route all the way around the back end. Just need your AR to stay alive through the B-side street. Snoopy's trying to time this flank to perfection, but inside is never going to get caught flipping. 2 kills in favor of Ultra. They're already on the board.
Boston got a little too anxious right there. Got caught on the pinch. Now they have to win the gunfights from the front. Second tick is done.
Go.
Third on the way. Awakening from one side. Cammy and Snoopy from the other. Awakening able to find one. He finds a second. Mercules though still alive. Third tick is going to be captured. And Toronto, right under the noses of Boston, steal away the control.
Just so icy in those late rounds, and realistically every single time Boston were finding success around that middle map, they weren't finding the same success over through B Street. The ARs need to be able to buy your life. When your SMGs are creating all that space through the middle map, you need to just stay alive. But the biggest round right there, the biggest kill was Snoopy.
Yes.
Being too fast on his flank. If you take a way longer route, because they have yet to touch the B point,
Bang.
you give your teammates opportunity to still get back into the play. But he rushes it, 2 kills go down at the worst time, and then Ultra just flood their way through the front to stack the point.
That is exactly the right call, Jay. Legitimately, just Boston moved too quickly on that pinch play. Like you said, just keep the focus to the front first. Like, force them to touch the zone. I know that they already had a tick, but like, force them to touch first. Awakening finding 2 is huge. If Snoopy's just on the pinch, they clean that up. And not only do they clean up that push, let's just put like a hypothetical cause and effect. If that pinch works, not only do you clear B, you got to spawn trap the P2 again. So it's just kind of a couple of scams there for both these teams. Initially in this round, it's just over-channeling through A that Boston reaped the reward of, but the stakes punished on the other side when it matters most over the B zone for Ultra to take the edge.
And realistically, mistakes are the reason why Boston find themselves in this hole. Like, if you don't have that initial mistake on the first P2 of the opening skyline, you're in that game. But since you give that away, then you're always playing catch up. And in the situation right here, like Jodeci gives you a freebie.
Yeah,
like you were able to retake your way in towards the site, but then just being a little bit too aggressive in certain angles, giving up your life for free and not really valuing your life the way that you needed to. Toronto were able to capitalize on it, so they take the control. Currently up 2-1 in the series. Now if you're Boston, backs against the wall. You're going into your favorite hardpoint, but you didn't look good in your last series.
No, that's extremely true. Yeah, we don't really get in the highlight package of that route. That gets missed on, but you think Awakening's double might be enough. The problem is, again, you just got that stack on for Ultra. Players can just flood forward, get on, help that stack, keep the progress moving.
We're just doing so much for no reason, bro. I'm literally saying
Purge is losing
We're just
full.
doing it, bro.
Wow.
He's speaking facts though, man. He's
I mean,
speaking
yeah,
facts.
it's true.
Sometimes people are just doing a little bit too much. We don't have to chow when we don't need to. We don't have to flank when we don't need to. So Purge is just trying to rally the troops, but it's got to be frustrating because you probably weren't making the plays that somebody else on your squad was.
I mean, how much of that, Jay? You're the pro player here in this duo. I'm definitely not. How much does that apply? Like, you're losing composure there. You're getting frustrated with your team or with yourself or with one player. How much does that impact what's about to come up next, which is another hard point, like you mentioned, that, you know, it's been a byproduct of some of the success that Boston have had, but not so much this major.
Yeah, making mistakes are always going to come back to haunt you. But thankfully, after map number 1, Purge had a little conversation with his team. They were able to lock in for the search and destroy. Right there at the end of that control, they know that they let that situation go. And hopefully it doesn't affect the players because they realistically should be up 2-1 in this series.
Oh, yeah.
If a couple things just go right, but you're still not out of it. You got a full Hardpoint coming up next in this map number 4. And in your series previously, it was the P3 to P4 that caused you so many problems. On the opposite side for Ultra, they got that stuff locked down. So Boston, you gotta be prepared for the money hill.
Yeah, if you missed the series earlier with Boston and Vancouver, it was legitimately P2s versus P4s. The problem was it wasn't just P4 for Vancouver, it was 3, 4, and 1.
Yeah.
That led to a bit of a blowout. So with a Toronto team in front of you that has really improved a lot in terms of how they're moving across the map on rotation, Boston got to come out hot. Get that 1-2 set up, get a good sense of control over B Street towards P3 and influence spawns on that P4 side of the map. They missed out on that almost every single rotation they were last year. That has to be different. You have to get someone through to challenge those rotations to 4.
Yeah, no one tried to do too much as well. Like,
True.
Trying to overheat, potentially going to come back to bite you. But what we saw on that map, number 1, was absolutely flawless. Out of Toronto Ultra. Perfect off the rotations, perfect in the sling. And when you got these two young guys really setting the tone, Joe Deceives, he's always a menace with that SMG, but the rookie continues to shine. A 1.47, 2,700 damage. You really don't have to do too much when you're basically 100-point clubbing everyone on Skyline.
That's so true. Looks like we're going to sit here for just a moment longer as fist bumps start to come out. I'm going to ask you just a quick fire question here, Jay, just to simmer on. Is Mercules' debut the best we've seen so far this year?
This year? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Neptune is really up there too, because the way that he was able to turn around that Vancouver squad, it's been insane to watch. But just what Mercules is doing on a squad that he's probably not going to be on at the end of this tournament is insane stuff as well. So can the Cinderella story continue to ride here for Ultra with the young Rook? Can they close it out here and go to a championship Sunday again in the top 4? Gotta make sure you do exactly what you did previously. P3 to P4. Rotations are the biggest thing on this map.
That would be an unreal story for Mercules to jump in, get his team to a championship Sunday in his first LAN debut. The only other player to do that for Toronto was Charlie Hixie.
Yeah.
See how things go, though. You got to get through Boston on, again, a map that they have loved. See what they can put together, though, as Insight finds the first blood. Catwalk control is the attempt for Boston, but not a lot of success here. Waking able to find at least 1 kill, leading to Purge finding an opener over towards the con, and a follow-up in Purge. Yeah, he's trying to come out with some fire.
Yeah, he's feeling himself, man. Challenging everything, getting everyone weak, just setting up his teammates. To have an easier approach when they work their way back on in, but Ultra, after finding that kill onto Purge, slay everyone else out of this mid-map area. Now there's still 15 seconds to fight for, and you potentially are going to lose spawn.
Yeah, and that elimination from Insight will pretty much confirm that. One last charge down the pool, but Mercules is going to be a monkey wrench in that plan. Snoopy last one left alive. Mercules with an AR out, trying to get a read as he waits for Kleenex to get the kill. And the hardpoint will open up with Toronto spawning closest.
Already off to the P2. Ultra win the rotation. They're ready for the first hit to come through the front side. Everything else is being watched. Joe Deceives just going to be a nuisance. Puts himself in an off angle. At least has everyone weak. But the pressure there from Boston. At least able to contest to the front.
Yeah, decent for now. But yeah, the damage on the cross allows for the last 2 ARs to clean things up. Kleenex 4 in a row. Hits the deck, has Joe Deceives tagging up Purge on that long route around the back of the hard point. Insight, though, can't beat him. And Purge just trying to help the team out by flooding in from the front. There's at least neutralization of the time, but can they find the kills that matter? May not matter. Joe Deceives 2 in a row, right back in the hill. Help from his teammates, and Ultra looking like they're pretty darn close to a full 60 here.
Yeah, this is not the start that you wanted if you were on the breach. You needed to come out the gate swinging. Give yourself some momentum, because now you're going over to the P3, P4 setup. You already have a couple players sitting over towards top part, but everybody else from Ultra are trapping them on that side.
Yeah, this is just, it feels just like Skyline all over again. Because now you've got Ultra with numbers.
Oh my God.
Able to rotate quickly, find every single kill. Insight is 10-3, Kleenex 9-3. The OG duo for Toronto lighting it up here in map 4.
And this can only continue to get worse, because if you're Boston, you have to play keep away here at the P3, but you also need the spawns for that money hill at P4. Thankfully, they're finding kills at a good time, because there's still 30 seconds here at P3. 2 players from Ultra already across the map, so you can get time here and win the roto if you just find this next hill.
Yeah, stuns and nades up to Mercules' direction. He's held down for now. His teammates getting time. I love this. What a heads-up play for Mercules. You know your teammates are going to be moving over through street side, so you try to re-wrap back towards Art. He finds one, gives his teammates a chance. Gunfight from Kleenex, just a little sloppy, but he stays alive. Teammates spawning a little bit deep, though. He's gonna have to do more than that.
Yeah, Kleenex is gonna have to finesse, and Insight also wins a one-on-one over towards Art's side, so you're already gonna influence these spawns to be close on the side of this P4. One player is gonna be out, and thankfully Awakening is making the most of his life.
Yeah.
He's able to catch 2 off of the cross. Insight still contesting on the backside of Art, but Ultra right here.
Yeah, Boston are spawning all the way out. They have to hold from inside the hard point. Snoopy, Cammy, Purge looking good as we jump over to a Boston breach. Listen in.
I'm gonna wrap left here.
They can be left, yeah. Big there, one shot. Nice, one's big there.
I heard you, bro.
Close kind of left, I'll come on left.
Don't fight inside gun books.
Yeah.
Still one.
Line.
Absolute line, cannot be weaker. Right in the right.
Line.
Let's go, He's in for now. Nice. More top. Front door.
Nice. Front door. Nice, you shit, guys.
Map and left.
Yeah. I'll come right here.
He's not let's see once on the. He's on balcony, yeah. Balcony.
You want to P3?
Absolutely. Bullet cat. One bullet Josie's.
Yo, push the line. Short you.
Still top cat too. Cat Joe, you guys are missing a merc on you.
Alright,
Still cat. Just go new. Go bigger.
I'm trying to close him. I don't see him close. He's not inside close. Sorry. Watch cat. Give me big door. I got big door. Last guy.
I'm gonna go. I'm playing for cat. You guys are top.
Yeah.
I got double doors.
It's okay, got me.
Double doors already, Merc. Already double doors, Merc.
Doors.
I have doubles?
Yeah.
You see doubles?
Give me cat.
Money.
I
I have a streak left. Nice, you check. Cat already. He's weak. Now weak.
I need double doors,
First guy
guys.
is
Left, Kleenex. He's gonna hit double doors. He's still P3.
Yeah, what do you do?
I have double doors.
He backed up to money, I think.
You have money. Then outer palms.
One money. There's too many, I think.
One's on cat.
Just focus money.
One more money and one double doors.
Yeah, two of them, boys. I have a streak, okay? Do you want to play old?
You guys go. I'm going right already.
Okay.
That's one on the left. I might just go to the left, bro.
Okay.
Sorry, cat, that's me. One shot, cat, that's me.
Pinch and books, Jonas.
Yeah, you guys on hold too. There's only one new line. I'm playing Scott Fold.
Nice.
Folds me money.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know where he didn't
baby.
pinch. Yeah, he's back money in the left corner. You guys are missing one.
Alright, let me go to me. Back over me. Oh yeah, one's back double play. Back door.
Top truck.
Sorry, one, two. Yeah, front of me, dead. Yeah, sure. There's me two top then.
Wrap him mid. They could be cat.
Yeah, other palm inside, one shot. Play dead. Yeah.
I'll block the back. They spawned out.
I'm turning, boys. Are you blocking the back still?
Yes.
Big effort through the P4 for Boston, and now making the most of the scrap time here at P2. This is a heck of a comeback effort early.
The communication is on point, man. Like, the small talk is definitely there for Boston. Just the kills off the rotation not really working. I don't know how Snoopy just walks right through a Semtex on the door, but with 11 HP, he's still able to find the kill. Now Boston is sort of back in this game. Gonna be down by almost 50. You need that P3 to P4 rotation again, because that's the way you got yourself back into the game, but don't allow Ultra to soak up time here.
Yeah, nice little battle right there between Awakening and Insight initially, but Joe Deceives play spoiler. 150 to 96. Control the hard point, convincing for Toronto. Control the left side of the map, convincing for Toronto. This is where Boston really suffered, not just in their first matchup, but also moments of concern initially here in this one. Insight timing, good for 2. The other one in front of him, Cammy, he gets stuck, so that's 3 for Insight. Joe Deceives may get a read that there's at least a contestant somewhere through mid, but Purge has jumped down into the vault and is now making a move on the route.
And it's 30 seconds still to fight for here. At this P3, just need gunfights to go your way. You need Toronto Ultra to spawn behind you, but every single kill is currently lit up in purple. AR's dominating this left side lane. Insight 23 and 13 with 4 in a row. As long as you continue to stay alive on this side, we already have the rotation to do.
Yep, Kleenex gonna watch for the long cross through pool. A little bit of a crossfire setup against the new hard point. P3 still open, means that Insight spawns out. But he can actually use this as a chance to maybe even help Kleenex.
Yep.
So he's gonna jump down through street, Kleenex. That is such a big one. And then he gets a little bit of team fodder coming through as Awakening takes out his teammate. And now is Insight, he's incognito. He's a double agent around the back. Boston don't get the read. Joe Deceives still hanging out inside the hard point. He finds 2 somehow, and Toronto will stabilize.
And that works out to perfection, because if Kleenex doesn't find a kill through top or at least find a double, then you're sort of aware, okay, someone's got to be behind us. But Insight goes unnoticed. He's able to set up that pitch for the double, secures the spawn for his team, and now post it up with the AR on the top side of Art. Even with the pistol finding it across the map, Ultra can do no wrong.
Just spray and pray, baby. Spray and pay. Works out nicely. Inside. Oh, almost able to find 4. One more effort maybe to finesse this if you're Boston, but Joe DeCeves will shut that down. 200 to 108. Boston into the do or die moment here as we go back to B1.
Need to play perfect from this point on. We need to consistently find trains to the middle of the map. We need to finally win a rotation over towards B2. But you can already see you're getting aggressive. No one is hard blocking. Joe DeCeves has been blessed with a free pit spawn, and he's going to make the most of it.
Gets the first. Knows he's got Snoopy isolated. Snoopy tried for a second, not going to work. And look at the read from Kleenex. Knows exactly where Boston are spawning. Split moment here, though, for Breach. Could make the most of it. Purge over towards the mantle inside a vault. Snoopy following up, and that double allows Boston numbers to get back into P1 with Kleenex, the last one left.
Yeah, the only thing is you need this time with these kills.
Yeah.
Just keep on trading if you're Ultra. Play keep away as long as you possibly can. Just find different routes to approach back through the middle side. Joe DeCeves is able to find 2. Boston cannot stabilize around this mid-map area because Ultra just keep on trading whenever they get a chance.
Now stuns, nades, just wrecking havoc on this Boston setup. Awakening and Snoopy making the most of it where they can, but they're running out of daylight. Sun setting on this tournament for the Boston Breach. As we go back to P2 and Ultra are here first, but an opener from Cammy may allow a flood to start to come through.
It's been every time. Ultra have been the team initially over towards the P2. Boston are banking on their break through the front side, but already 4 dead. Ultra need 20 seconds. Space is going to be your last push.
Yeah, Kleenex just stares down that back spawn to make sure no one from Boston pops up. Snoopy from the front gets one. Contest is in, but the kills still come through for Ultra. Mercules, last one standing, and of course it is. Another 5 sprint for Mercules. Another game-winning moment potentially for Mercules. And yep, that will do it. Ultra polished in both hard points. Get the rookie to his first championship Sunday.
And again, Ultra are the team to send Boston Breach home on their final match here on Saturday. To send them home with a top 6 finish. And the Cinderella story continues on. It's just insane to see how fast they've been able to turn it around. Because their first series to start this tournament versus Miami, you came out, you won the opening hardpoint.
Yep.
But every other map after that was a smoke show. After that, you go back and watch some VODs. You're probably doing things that you've never done if you're Mercules. And they have been unbelievable in every single mode, contested with these teams who have been together for so damn long with a brand new guy.
Yeah.
Toronto's system is just way too strong. Shout out to everyone on that side, including the coaching staff. They have put together a perfect system to how you want to play this game, and they move on to Championship Sunday.
And again, just the notice of being able to find the right guy for the job. And I think most impressively, you know, when we were looking over this Toronto team in their opening matchup, we figured that Mercules was going to be kind of just rocking the slow, long-range AR, let Insight kind of turn into Subsight. But let's be honest, these last 2 series we've watched from Toronto, Mercules is pulling out a sub. More often than not, it feels like, when he needs to, and finding a lot of success with it. Again, 19 and 20, sure, but 16 assists, 14 non-traded. It's just, it really is, I think, you know, you put him right up there in terms of debuts. With Neptune, Super, Mercules, top 3 debuts on the year. Rancor maybe at the major, but like for the season, this has been unbelievable in terms of the story that you're starting to see from Mercules.
It's just insane, man, how good they are in such a short time span. And if you're Boston, you're going to be beating yourself up because you got 2 hard points that you like to play as a team. You got your best hard point here in map number 4, but you couldn't find any success at P2. You barely found success in the first go-around at the P4. And basically both the hard points were blowouts when that was your best mode going into this event. It's just unfortunate for them. Another top 6 play.